We are struggling in our life, we get disturbed, we overreact, and that is why your heart is not yet satisfied. Many people get confused between Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. In the Padma Purana, Lord Krishna says that if somebody does not have this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, even if he has to sell his entire property, he should do this for my pleasure. There is no other need to read any other literature other than Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. In the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, you see Krishna face to face. Hare Krishna. So today I'm going to glorify Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is, and many people get confused between Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But Śrīmad Bhāgavatam was spoken by Srila Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit on the banks of the Ganges. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam has a very, very special position, or rather a very, very unique position in the whole Vedic tree. If all the Vedas combined together can be considered to be a divine tree, then the ripemost fruit of that tree is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Srila Vyasadeva, after compiling the 108 Upanishads, the 18 Puranas, and all the Vedic literature, the 4 Vedas, the Mahabharata, etc., he was not still satisfied at the core of his heart. Therefore, his spiritual master, Srila Narad Muni, guided him, actually in one way chastised him, and told him that because you have sufficiently glorified Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha in all the Vedic literatures which you have compiled till now, but you haven't yet exclusively glorified Sri Hari, you haven't exclusively glorified devotional service to Lord Krishna, and that is why your heart is not yet satisfied. So Vyasadeva got satisfaction of his heart only after compiling the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which he compiled in his maturity. And after doing so, he felt there is no other need to compose any other literature. In fact, he also went on to say that there is no other need to read any other literature other than Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, because it is the ripemost fruit, the most mature fruit of the entire Vedic tree. So, this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, in the preface of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Srila Prabhupada, by the way, gave his entire life to the translation, commentary, publication of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. He would work throughout the day and night. He would work throughout the day to create an organization like that of ISKCON. And then in the night after night, he would translate pages after pages. This entire knowledge of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam was locked in the Sanskrit language, and now it has been made accessible to all of us simply by the mercy of this great Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. In the preface to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, please listen to the glorification of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam by Srila Prabhupada. This glorification is like a full expression of his heart. I'm quoting him. Humanity has made rapid progress in the fields of material comforts, education, and economic development throughout the entire world. But there is a pinprick somewhere in the social body at large, and therefore there are large-scale quarrels even over less important issues. There is a need of a clue as to how humanity can become one in peace, friendship, and prosperity with a common cause. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam will fill this need for the cultural presentation. Please listen to this. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam will fill this need, for it is a cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. So this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is not just meant for Indians, or it is not just meant for people who are philosophically inclined, or people who are looking for answers in life. This is meant for the cultural re-spiritualization of the entire human society. It will give happiness to people from all walks of life, people of all ages, people of all caste, creed and gender, etc. This will give happiness to people of all religion. This will give happiness to the soul of everybody. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, there is a very nice verse which says, Krishne swadhama pagate dharma jnanadi bhisaha kalau nashta drishamesya puranarko dhunoditaha. Basically, when Krishna was there on this planet, everything was wonderful. Everything was so proper. Nobody was struggling for anything in this life, in their lives. But as soon as Krishna went back to Goloka, from Bhuloka, the Kali-yuga started. And in this age of Kali-yuga, where everybody is blinded by lust, anger, greed, illusion, enviousness and attachments, they've lost their spiritual vision. In this yuga, people will get the same happiness as they were getting in the presence of Lord Krishna by taking shelter of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This dense darkness of ignorance of the age of Kali gets light and hope from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is divided in 12 cantos. It has 18,000 verses, and each canto, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, represents one body part of Krishna. There is a temple in Burma where they have not kept any vigraha of Bhagwan. They just keep Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and worship. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is non-different from Krishna. It is Vigrahavan Krishna, form of Krishna. Simply by reading it, you get darshan of Krishna. In the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, you see Krishna face to face. Now, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, someone may say it was spoken 5,000 years ago. It's not relevant, but it is actually very relevant even today. We are struggling in our life. We don't know how to face the extremities of our life, to face challenges of our lives with a cool head. We get disturbed, we overreact. But many instances are there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam where the characters are shown how they have dealt with adverse situations, how to deal with insults and difficult situations with a cool head. The example of Vidura, how he was dealing when Duryodhana was insulting him, that is very nicely explained. How to face extreme challenges, adverse situations with a cool and steady mind. How to have presence of mind when in calamities. So the glorious example of Vasudev, when his wife was about to be murdered in front of him, how he saved the whole situation, how he saved the day, how he used his presence of mind and did the right activities, that is glorified. All of us, we come in difficult circumstances. We don't know what to do at that time to get empowerment. So how to be empowered when our hands and legs are tied literally by our own karmic reactions, by our own mind, etc. How to do this? That is glorified in the section where Gajendra is praying to the Lord for empowerment. We are all looking for a relationship where we want 100% satisfaction. We are all looking for a kind of a relationship where we find our real shelter. And there are so many characters in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam which highlight that loving relationship which they had with Krishna, with God. How to find real love, how to find real shelter. The glorious example of Queen Kunti, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhishma Deva, Sudama. All these wonderful pastimes are there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is not only a philosophical presentation of dharma, but at the same time, it talks more about the glorious character of the devotees of the Lord and the wonderful loving exchanges which they had with the Lord. That is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is very scientific too. It tells us about the origin of the universe. It talks about the different planetary systems. It talks about the structure of atom. It talks about how to measure the time, the various units of time. It talks about so many subjects, to name a few. It talks about philosophy, psychology, human relations, fine arts, music, literature, poetry, military. Like there are 50 plus subjects which are there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada would say that anybody who reads Śrīmad Bhāgavatam gets everything basically. It does not need to read any other book. It is very valuable for our children also. It guides them, it builds their character. We give them so much information, we give them so much knowledge, but we somehow struggle to give them character development. We somehow struggle to teach them mind control and sense control. So the best gift which we can give to our children so that they understand how to make the right decisions in life, how to take the right path and how to take the right association, right guidance at the right time. That is taught by Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is very auspicious. It can go to anybody's house. Imagine Krishna is called as Lakshmipati. Lakshmipati is the owner of all the wealth, but he is ready to go to even a beef eater's house, even a meat eater's house in the form of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Anybody can take. There are no rules and regulations to read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The only rule and regulation is to read it sequentially, starting from Canto 1 till Canto 12. There's no other rule. Simply by reading it, Krishna becomes pleased. Just like a cow follows the calf always. Similarly, a house where Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is there, all the rivers assemble there, all the demigods assemble there, all the holy places, tirthas, they assemble there on a daily basis. Why? Because Lord Krishna gets attracted to a house where Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is kept and where Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is read. So that is the glory of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Krishna is independent. He is Lakshmipati. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan. Nobody can control him. Nobody can purchase him. Nobody can force him. But Lakshmipati, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, is ready to come to your house if you decide to bring in your house this set of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam books. At what price? At almost nothing. In the Padma Purana, Lord Krishna says that anybody who has this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, I consider him as my devotee. And if somebody does not have this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, even if he has to sell his entire property, he should do this for my pleasure to have a set of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. That is, these are the words of Krishna. This Śrīmad Bhāgavatam set costs lesser than a mobile. These days in our families, if we have 5 people, then each of them has a mobile. And this mobile does not give anybody material or spiritual advancement, sustainable material or spiritual advancement. But this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam teaches you how to live in this world and then how to leave this world and go back home, back to Godhead for the rest of eternity, which is the goal of human life. Therefore, this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the most auspicious thing you can have in your house, and this is the best gift which you can give to yourself and to your future generations. We are the members of ISKCON. We are trying to fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada, who had this desire that every gentleman should have a set of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita in their house. So we are wanting to put Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatams in every house on this planet. So therefore we approach you in this via this medium, and we request you to kindly take a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam set and try to read. You can contact us and we will help you. Kindly have a set of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, read it, see Krishna in the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, live a successful life, and then go back home, back to Godhead. From Bhuloka to Goloka, from Bhuloka to Vaikuntha. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.